There's a new best defensive playbook taking over right now in college football 26, and if you don't master it now, you're going to be left behind. And luckily for you, in this video, I'm breaking down the complete ebook for the 4-3 multiple playbook, including the best settings, blitzes, and coverage shells you're going to need to dominate. You're absolutely not going to miss out on anything I have for you in this video, so let's jump right into it. All right, the first thing any great defense needs is the best settings. It's really a foundation, and let me show you the best ones to use. All right, so the first setting that I want to break down here is you pause the game, you come into options, you scroll down until you find your gameplay helpers, and you want to make sure that you have defensive heat seeker assist on with your window size set to at least 100%. All right, really what this is going to do, it's going to allow you to make tackles, dive tackles in the backfield on ball carriers. And so hopefully you're able to see through that clip. That's exactly what Heat Seeker is going to allow you to do. It's going to allow you to make those suction dive tackles in the backfield on ball carriers a whole lot easier than if you had Heat Seeker turned off. But if we come into the best coaching adjustments that you need to make sure you're using here, all right, the first three settings, make sure they're on, balanced, and disabled, okay? This is going to help your alignment on defense. This one helps your slot corner come out on the correct side as a slot receiver. Cornerback matchups, make sure your defense doesn't crisscross when the offense no huddles. Defensive motion response while disabled, make sure that your zone defenders don't realign when the offense motions from like Y off trio close or like bunch X nasty or something like that. But RPO pass key on conservative, this is going to help your AI defenders really focus on the RPO pass aspect while you can focus your user on the run. All right, zone drops, a lot of people confuse these. There's many different situations that call for different zone drop depths, but if you're just trying to universally set them, forget them type of thing, default 5, default is your answer. Close pinch. For your safeties, understand though, college football 26, takeoff is a thing, and fast receivers are certainly a thing always, and so you have to be ready to back your guys up if they're not fast enough. But if you can use safety depth and close, right, having your safeties and your hook zones dropping to 10 yards already is going to do a much better job of defending the seam, right? When you move your hook down to 5, it's even more important that you have your safety depth and close if you want to defend the seam. Now, not everyone attacks the seam, so it's not like you necessarily need to, set it like that to start every game, especially if you know you're playing against someone who has fast receivers. But you're able to see right here where we easily take away that seam pass, the safety's there, the corners there dropping, so no problem there. But as far as, like I said, the alignment, you don't want this to happen to your defense, all right? And this will happen to your defense if you use cornerback matchups on by speed, by height. What's going to happen is your DBs are going to try to realign with the offense based on whatever you have it set to. So you could end up with a defense like this that's completely pulled out of place because the zones are still going to try to play across the field, but no one's going to be out there. So it's just going to be a huge problem. You see, this is what could happen to your defense. I mean, just a wide open touchdown down the field simply because that safety trying to turn across. A lot of people miss out on that. They don't understand why their defense looks like that when the offense no huddles or the offense motions, and it's because you have your cornerback matchup set to something else besides balance. So those are really the best coaching adjustments to use. We could talk about zone drops later on in the video, but it's like everything that I just showed you, you need to make sure you have on, including that heat seeker being turned on. All right, the next thing any great defense needs is a glitch blitz to get the quarterback on the ground in a hurry. Let me show you a setup straight from that defensive ebook. All right, we're going to come right here into nickel 3-3 stack. The play is going to be linebacker blitz 0, all right? Here's our go-to. You want to make sure that you're using this linebacker right here, Hill Green. You're going to shift your linebackers to the right, and you are going to contain them. So now it's going to look something like this. Now, you also want to put your user in a zone assignment like this, in a mid-read, just so that if you need to switch stick, you can. Now, depending on the formation that they run, you could set up like a cover 3 defense, I guess, right? If you wanted to cover 3 clouds or something like this, right? And so that would be important to be able to switch stick if you're running zone. If you're running man coverage, it's probably not as important to be able to switch stick. You don't really want to switch stick in man coverage, but what you're going to notice right here is they are just going to take the snap. You're going to try to move that guard outside, and then you're just able to see how we're able to push our way into the quarterback very, very quickly. The key with your user is standing right over this guard and then dragging him outside, a lot of the time just towards this left sideline here. So again, boom, take it, try to turn him outside, and then that's what allows for your man to just come in free, push his way into the quarterback, time and time again. What you're going to notice if they're on offense really is that there's going to be a flame icon over the head of your linebacker, over the mic, which really means that the offensive line is going to try to let him come in free. So we go through it again right here. Always pass commit your defense as well, especially if you think they're passing. It'll make your blitzes, your pass rush, your sheds a whole lot better. Take the snap, try to turn this man outside. We do it, and so then he's able to come in free very cleanly. The more you turn that guard outside and force him to double team, the easier this is going to be for you. So we look at it right here, number 71. There we go. Boom. Turn. You see it with my user down and outside, but then I'm getting back up over the middle to take away a mesh concept, right? So I'm not actually engaging with him. I'm just coming down, getting his attention, forcing him to turn out to double team. Boom, and then we're just able to get that really quick pressure on the quarterback. You see, we're also able to get another shed. So that's really what it is. It's a really easy blitz. They're in empty protection right there. So that's really when it's the most dangerous against empty. Obviously, in the ebook, we talk about other setups that, do a better job against base protection. But a lot of people like to say, oh, well, I'm just going to block my running back to block a blitz. Well, you're going to notice how the same thing, there's going to be a flame icon over the head of this linebacker right here. And so that still means he's going to come in free, but now the running back is going to pick him up. All right, so still pass commit our defense, take the snap, turn this man outside. Running back, you see right there how the running back isn't necessarily the greatest option to block blitzes, because you're just able to see how he dumbs out. He doesn't even see him. He's basically looking at my user. He wants no parts of this. He literally runs from the smoke, and so we're still able to come in free 6 against 5. So really, linebacker blitz 0, one of the best A-gap blitzes in the game, one of the best loop blitzes really too in the game, simply because as long as you turn that guard outside and then get back into coverage, it's really going to be tough for them regardless if they block their running back or not. Alright, so if you enjoyed those first 2 tips here from the 4-3 multiple defensive ebook, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down college football 26 tips and tricks for you guys every single day, give you guys free ebooks, and you don't want to miss out on any of the content that I have. But if you want that full 4-3 multiple defensive ebook with the best written breakdowns, the best videos, the best screenshots, everything you're going to need to dominate your defense in this game from this playbook, go to the link down below in the pinned comment. You can grab it today by using code YouTube to get 20% off. I guarantee it'll transform the way you play defense. But let's jump right back into the video. Because having a great glitch blitz is fantastic, but if you can't stop the run in this game, no one's actually going to pass the ball on you. Let me show you the best way to automatically stop the run in the backfield every single time. Alright, so if we come here into nickel double mug, we're going to be calling mid blitz 0. Now, what you're going to notice here is this is the look that they have, right? They're going to be calling an inside zone run, and what you're going to notice is when they snap this ball, there's a flame icon over the head of your defensive end on the right side, which means he's going to come in free. Now the problem is he doesn't necessarily have the greatest angle, because the running back can still just squirt through the middle right there and turn this into a big gain, especially if they can break tackles, they can speed boost, spin, do whatever they got to do. So it's like this isn't going to be the greatest run defense for you just calling mid blitz, but as soon as you move your user over the top of the center like this, now you have automatic run defense from double mug, because now you can just take the snap and then that man's just going to come in free and make the tackle. Really, the most important thing for you is just running down into the center. Something else that you want to make sure that you're doing, though, is clicking onto your man and dive tackling just like this. That's why heat seeker is really important, right? That's why I told you in the first segment here, because that's a dive tackle. You want to be able to dive tackle this ball carrier before he has the opportunity to speed boost away from you. We obviously know how good and how important this speed boost is in this game, but when we're able to just dive tackle the ball carrier in the backfield, we prevent him from breaking tackles and speed boosting away. I would say about 80% of the time the computer does a good job of just bringing him down, but it's very frustrating those 20%, those 2 times out of 10, when they absolutely whiff, or they just let him break the tackle, or they run by him. That's pretty frustrating. So when you click onto your man, you really make it to where there's no chance of that happening. So again, take the snap, boom, dive tackle. The ball carrier is going to have nowhere to go, and you're going to be able to stop inside runs pretty much every single time here. from really any formation. It really doesn't matter. It's really just, running down, taking a snap, dive tackling the ball carrier, and making sure that you don't miss with your user. So it's like you're putting the onus on your user, but don't miss the dive tackle, which normally that's why you have heat seeker on, so you can suction tackle the ball carrier. It makes it a whole lot easier. But go through it one last time. Take the snap, press X on Xbox, square on PlayStation to dive tackle the ball carrier, get that heat seeker, and you're going to be shutting down every single inside zone, every single inside run here in the game from this playbook. All right, before I jump to those final 2 scheme tips that you're absolutely not going to miss here from this 4-3 multiple playbook, I want to remind you to go down below, hit that subscribe button. I'm the only one right now breaking down college football 26 tips and tricks for you guys every single day, and you don't want to miss out on any of the content I have. But let's jump to those final 2 tips. Which that next one is going to be a shed glitch. Yes, literally a glitch to get you more sheds. I showed you a glitch blitz earlier, but this defense really allows you to send 4 people and still affect the quarterback really quickly. Let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, so we're going to come back into nickel double mug here for this one, but we're going to scroll in our packages until we find the 4D in package. Now, you have to be, obviously this is a 4-3 multiple ebook, but if you guys are running a different playbook, it has to be nickel double mug, not 2-4 double mug, not 3-3 double mug, all right? So really what you're going to notice here is this is going to allow you to get your best defensive ends out there at D tackle instead. So you're gonna have 4 D ends, you're gonna move your 2 best to those pass rusher spots at D tackle. And so it really doesn't matter the play that you call. I'll just call cover 3 sky because you don't really have to blitz with this. What you probably want to do, just spread your defensive line. Now, here's the thing. If you send 5, so if you blitz one of your linebackers to make it a 5-man rush, you prevent the offensive line from being able to double team one of your D tackles, right? One of the 2 guys that you just subbed in. Right, and the reason why you want to do this, you could certainly sub them into those spots if you don't use the package, but they're going to take a ratings hit. So that's why you want to use that package so that they don't take the ratings hit. But I was saying, if you send 5, that no one gets double teamed. So that's really something that you should just consider. You don't always have to send 5, but what you're just going to notice is you're going to have guards against defensive ends, which really the benefit to that is that guards have low blocking finesse typically. Now, if you have Alabama, right, all their linemen can pass block, right? So it's a little bit different, but typically against a lot of other teams, it's like you're just going to be shedding them very quickly because guards, they have much lower pass block finesse ratings than a tackle, an offensive tackle. And these pass rushers, defensive ends, they rely a lot on those finesse moves. So you're just going to notice how this time they have a double team. They're double teaming one of our defensive ends, which makes the pass rush a little bit worse. So that's why I say if you can prevent them from double teaming by introducing that 5th rusher, your pass rush will be better. Now that time I didn't pass commit, so you always want to make sure that you're pass committing your defense, but you just notice how that time, boom, 42 and 22 both do a great job of just shedding very quickly because they're playing against players who aren't used to blocking them, right? Just very easy. This is a superstar, right? A superstar guard who just immediately gets shedded because he just doesn't have the pass block finesse ratings to actually be able to block this guy. Now, they're sheds. Not to say that he's going to shed instantly every single time, but we ran it 3 times. He shed that time, and on the previous play, it was the other guy that shed. So again, you want to probably send 5 if you can, because it's not really a blitz. If you're not blitzing to send 5, you're really just relying on your organic pressure and trying to take away the middle of the field on the back end. So go through it again, and you just notice how this time, a more quick pressure, collapsing the pocket really well. We're able to do a fantastic job on the back end of taking everything away when we have a good user over the middle of the field. So, it's really just something to think about. It's kind of just, a unique glitch here that you can take advantage of, just changing your package, and then you just notice how 42, we get a sack fumble right there. Unfortunately, we're not able to recover, but it's like he's just gonna run through that guy because that's a guard playing against a DN, not used to being able to block him. This time I only sent 4 people. They tried to double team, but they double teamed the wrong guy, right? You're just able to see how, boom, this guy's able to get that quick shed, quick pressure, get the quarterback on the ground. So here from nickel double mug, you can call any play from double mug. Just use that 4D package, get your defensive ends at defensive tackle to play against offensive guards, and you're going to see your pass rush win rate skyrocket. All right, in order to play great defense, you also have to be able to hold the door at the goal line. Too many people give up when their opponent drives the ball inside the 5, inside the 1, but let me show you the best goal line defense to hold the door. All right, so what you're gonna notice is this ball is inside of the 1 yard line, right? And so a lot of people just give up in this situation because their opponent just calls quarterback sneak, and that would, I think he scored there. So it would be a touchdown, right? So it's like it's not gonna be that hard to just fall forward, pick up a half yard, pick up a yard, and score. Now, a few times, like if you spread, like here's a problem. People run these dumb defenses where they're spreading their defensive line and you're just gonna let the quarterback fall forward. You can, sometimes he'll even be able to just jump over the top, right? If you give him that look too. So really it's like you have to have a way to more consistently hold the door at the goal line. Even if they were like call halfback dive, change it up, but you spread your defensive line for some reason. It's like they just have that gap open for a touchdown, right? You're just giving up touchdowns too easily. So really the solution here is to call goal line 5-3, all right? Call goal line 5-3 and it's gaps B. But the thing that you need to make sure that you're doing is utilizing the speed package, right? So just like I showed you earlier from double mug, you're gonna scroll with the right stick until you find that speed package. But what you're gonna notice here is you have to take your user and stand directly in this gap, in between the center and the right guard here, because this is the gap that the quarterback's trying to fall through, right? And so that time he actually loses a yard. So now he's backed up to the 2 yard line instead of maybe getting back to a line of scrimmage or scoring, simply because you're standing in the spot and you're pushing him down to the ground, and literally as soon as he takes a snap, boom, like as soon as he snaps the ball, I'm unaccounted for, right? So I mean, it's really just impossible. It's going to be impossible for them to handle, because like if we look at their play art, there's flame icons here and they just have no one to block my user. Time and time again, you're going to push the quarterback down. So even if right here, they're like the half-yard line, like this should be just an easy touchdown, but you're just pushing him to the ground before he has the opportunity to, you know, fall forward or jump over the goal line, anything like that. The key is making sure you're as close to the line of scrimmage as possible without being called for offsides, just so that you can push the quarterback down early. So boom, you're just able to see time and time again, we're pushing him to the ground. Now, this works even if they flip their play, because a lot of people will see you're standing in this gap right here, and then they will flip their play to go quarterback sneak other side. Well, if you see that, you just move over to the other gap. Whatever side 89 is, the tight end, the outside tight end, that's the side the quarterback's running to. So boom, take it, and it's the same thing on the other side where we're pushing him to the ground immediately. He has nowhere to go. He probably loses yards. So if they flip their play, you know exactly what to do now. And this even works if they call like another run, like power O, because you're standing in the same spot and now there's a flame icon over the head of your 2 defensive tackles, meaning they're going to come in completely clean and sometimes sack the quarterback like that, which is a huge loss for them. When you're on the goal line in offense, you don't want to lose yards, like 5 yards right there. They're in a horrible situation now. So that's going to happen when they call power O, or you're just going to tackle the ball carrier in the backfield as soon as he gets the handoff. So really, this is the most foolproof goal line defense, especially in goal line and heavy formations. When they're in those, you want to match their personnel with a goal line formation like this and force them to actually pass the ball. Don't let them just hand the ball off, call these stupid goal line plays, and score easy touchdowns. Get in goal line 5-3 with the speed package and really shut everything down. All right, if you found that ebook helpful here in CFB 26 from the 4-3 multiple playbook, again, go down below, hit that subscribe button. I give you guys free ebooks and breakdown defense tips every single day on college football 26. You don't want to miss out on any of the content I have. But if you want my full 4-3 multiple defensive ebook with the best written breakdowns, the best videos, the best screenshots, everything you're going to need to dominate on defense, go to the link down below in the pinned comment. You can grab it today by using code YouTube to get 20% off. I guarantee it'll transform the way you play defense here in this game. And if you want to see a ebook for my Oregon State offense, check out this video right here. I'll see you over there. Peace.